I call the member for Moranni.
Rise to speak on the Tobacco and Other Smoking Products Amendment Bill. The bill amends the Forestry Act 1959, the Police Powers and Responsibilities Act 2000, the Recreational Areas Management Act 2006 and the Tobacco Other Smoking Products Acts of 1998. I thank the committee and the Secretariat for all the work that we've done. We've certainly looked into different areas of the schools and how it's affecting people. A lot of young people are very badly affected by vapes. I've actually had a lot of the family that know people, and I actually have my daughter's boyfriend who's very affected by vapes. He coughs incessantly. He can't walk up the stairs properly. He's given up vaping, and it's taking him a long time to come back from it. The way that the vapes are actually, they're actually distributed, it's aimed at small kids. I know there was a tobacco shop and they're popping up everywhere. Some of them with SpongeBob on them. They're saying they're kid-friendly, child-friendly. They've also morphed and they've come over now to little sacks of tobacco or sacks of basically nicotine rather than having the vape itself. So they are morphing as fast as we can actually make legislation and try and change the vaping industry or change the way that vapes affect us. I think too, we have another issue as well. Our policies and the way that we set them and the tax system as well, everything's so expensive, it drives the black market for vapes and illegal tobacco. We're losing out on billions of dollars worth of tax from the industry because the target of what we've actually done for increases are set so high, it's driving that black market. So really, if you look at it, we as a government and the federal government need to look at revising their policies to make a situation where if they're going to sell tobacco and get tax from it, that it's affordable, just like the other stuff that's actually being black marketed here in the state. We're seeing that with alcohol, we're seeing that with vapes, and we're seeing that, we'll be soon seeing that with the fishing industry because we've closed all that down as well. So I think we really need to have a look at structuring the way we work it. Now, the bill will enable the appointment of an authorised person under the Act to monitor and enforce compliance with its provisions. That's another thing I think that we need to look at. Officers need to go in and actually be able to shut down these places, these illegal sellers of vapes and tobacco products. I've got Pam from Townsville who owns 8 stores. She's a licensed seller and distributor of tobacco products. She rings me constantly saying, Stephen, the government don't seem to be acting as far as shutting down these stores. They're not actively going in there and closing them down. So that's another thing we have an issue with. They're in Serena, they're in Mackay, they're everywhere I can, even across from the hospital at HHS in Mackay, there's one now. Every little place that we find that hasn't been rented for a long time, a tobacco store pops up. So in that space, we as the government, or the government itself, needs to get onto that and shut these places down. They need to go in there, take all their product and basically confiscate it and throw it in the bin so they can't sell. And that's not happening. And it is affecting businesses that are legitimate. That's another problem that we have there. So the bill further authorises the Chief Executive to share intelligence and data with other law enforcement jurisdictions. And according with the bill's changes, police officers will be deemed authorised persons who may take compliance action under the Act. The bill also significantly increases the maximum penalties for non-compliance. That's all good, but there's no point in having all these penalties for non-compliant if we're actually not enforcing them, we're actually not sending our officers in to shut the places down. I know the schools are having problems with it, parents are having problems with it. It's so easy just to have a toke of a vape. You don't have to light up, you don't have to carry any paraphernalia, it's just straight out of your pocket into your mouth. It's an easy way of being able to get a nicotine fix, but the government need to do more in shutting down the illegal vape trade. And they need to work with these tobacco sellers, licensed tobacco sellers, to understand how that works so we can infiltrate those other businesses. Thank you, Speaker.